Good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight to the update. It's nice to see everyone in here. In fact, I want to give the big shout out tonight to Modtail, is their name. 2 hours ago, said hello from Kiev. So whether you were sleeping now, Mod, and you're going to watch in the morning, Dobro utro. Good morning to you. And thank you for being here. As all of you guys, we much appreciated. Jeffrey Burnett, for what you do every night is deeply appreciated. And all the guys everywhere. And yeah, Ricochet, lots of new names. So thank you for that. And yeah, make sure you're liking and sharing and commenting. I don't even care if you just say hi from Minnesota, because the Ukrainians read the chat. And it's just an encouragement to them. I see some of you getting that, you know, giving the state you're from or the country. So thank you very much for that. God bless you. I can tell you right now, let me do this for you right now. Throughout Ukraine, 4:03 a.m., 9:03 p.m. here, pretty active on the air raid sirens. Now, here's what I can tell you. There's been some strong hits in Kharkiv over the last little while, as well down toward the south and in the east. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. So when you see this map here like this, and I share it with you, this is what goes out in Ukraine, and it shows the zones that are under air raid alert. That does not mean that there has been a strike in that region. It just means that they have to be prepared, because radar, technology, satellites, witnesses, everything is telling them that they are in the line. Many times what happens is, on some of these places I get information from, Belarus is actually putting a lot of planes in the air. And it's not Belarus, it's Russia using Belarusian air bases. They go into the air, they get rolling, and as soon as that happens, they'll start putting the air raid sirens up for the northern oblast as well. Once cruise missiles have been fired from the Black Sea or the Caspian Sea or the Kherson region, they'll start lighting them up. And each city, each major city, major region has its own communication. It's really super interesting. You have to be able to read. They do post in Ukrainian and Russian, depending on the channel. But it's very interesting. So when an air raid signal happens, for example, let's say coming from the north, planes are in the air, instantly it'll light up Zhytomyr region. And then a minute later, Khmelnytsky or Vinnytsia. And then once it's clear, you get another alert that it is now green. But over the last couple of hours, it's pretty much nonstop throughout the region. So I hope that helps you better understand how these things function here. As well, a lot of planning happening today, and we've got a very full day and a full update. But guess who I found? Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. So thank you. Rainwater Games out there in Washington State. Menninger's right down the street. Welcome to you. Ricochet, Haircut Week. Don Gentilini. PG is spot on. Putin wants to destabilize the world and revive the Russian Empire. Think about the chaos in the U.S. and the world right now. This has been his strategy for decades and only got our attention now? Question mark. I see it at the end. So here we go. And I'm excited tonight, coming to you from Ukraine. We're also going to be talking about specifically, when will this war end? So I'm very happy tonight to have my man in here, and Reflex 151. You know what? We have lots of Canadians in here, and we have a resident Canadian Pennsylvanian. I'm just down below you here. And hey, I got your loonies and your toonies, man. Welcome. We'll give Canada a cheer for sure. Thank you for being here. All right, folks, I've got the man ready to go, and we're going to get to it. It's going to be a loaded update. Here we go. Good morning to you, my friend. Welcome back.
Good evening.
It's nice to have you here, and you've been out for a few weeks. That's due to the refugee camps been running for the kids out of many of them out of the war zones. So thank you. We're glad you're back. We've picked up quite a large group of new watchers from around the world, and they may not know, but they may have seen some older videos. But this is the first time you've been with me in a few weeks, other than a couple check-ins. So we're glad to have you back, and all is well. I do see it looks like we both got haircuts today.
Oh, yes, it's a fact. Unexplainable.
We did not communicate on that. That was not a planned haircut day. As well, we've also been working on some logistic things for things that are to unfold, and everything working out great. So Jacob, let's jump right into it and be expeditious with our time and respect others' times. But we've got a big update for tonight, and let's jump right to it first. Now, kind of unfolding, I've got a few things I want to look at on this map, but before we get into that, just now, within the last little while, few minutes, pretty intensive strikes in Donetsk. I'm sorry, in Kharkiv,
Kharkiv.
Kharkiv, where it looks like we're going to have some larger scale fatalities on this one. Hit residential areas, and the ambulances are rolling. So this is kind of right now. Today, very busy with airstrikes. Very busy. Ukraine doing some good things. But we're going to look at this. I have a little key here on this map, and we'll start from the top one. The blue X's, good Ukrainian counterstrikes on infrastructure down below Kherson. In behind Novokhovka was a massive one over the last 24 hours, really taking out some enemy equipment, as well as over really below Zaporozhye area where infrastructure tries to come in, as well as behind the lines in Donetsk. So we start there. That's really good. We've made some good efforts there, striking back. I also saw Antonovsky Bridge. They're working on repairing it, and so we'll just have to hit that again. We're really good at hitting that bridge. Second thing, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, concerning the bridge and the bridges, our guys prepared. They didn't destroy it completely, and it was planned, and they will not do it until the special time. And yes, there are different ways there. They're using for transporting not really heavy vehicles through the river. I mean,
The
to
ferry
this
system.
other side of the river, and I see and I believe that in a needed time we will finish and we will stop all the bridges, which
So
will be
it's
important for us.
well, let's look at it this way. When we damage the bridge, they're going to try to repair the bridge, and it takes their resources, their manpower. This is all calculated. So that's kind of new news there, and that's very interesting. Over in Toretsk, we're going to hear more about that in a little while from Dmitry Kuleba. But Toretsk today, and I put 35K there just so people can understand. I try now to give the populations of the cities or the distances because, we just know Toretsk, about 35,000 people. It's in Ukrainian controlled territory, but being shelled and destroyed. And today, a strike on a bus stop area, a pharmacy area, and 8 or 9 fatalities, I think was the number. And I saw the videos. I have all the pictures. I will not share them because they're very graphic, but literally these ladies, grandmas, people were just sitting there ready to board the bus. So terrible day there in Toretsk.
It's just one more terrible day in Ukraine, and I would like for all the world on their main news channels would have reality in the news what's going on in Ukraine.
Well, and that's going to be a
No,
big push of our update here in a few moments. Four red um, icons there. These, of course, were the focuses and continue to be of Russia, especially Kharkiv and Mykolaiv, as well as Nikopol. They are trying to demolish that place, and Zaporozhia. And then, of course, I did not even put in the east. We know the battles raging there in the Donetsk Oblast. Finally, on that
hmm
map is the red, white, and blue. Now, this is from so many sources. I've been sharing it over the last couple of days, but this is coming directly out of Kyiv. This is coming from the general staff. This is coming from Erestovich. This is coming from Zelensky's office. Ukraine is 100% aware that Russia is building up forces again in the south, as well as in the north, up north of Chernigiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, everywhere you see the red, white, and blue icons. They're building up forces, and there were some reports today that there may be a simultaneous, much like February the 24th, push from all these sides at one time. Other views were no, they're going to hit us hard from the south and Donetsk, but the troops that are up north of Sumy are there for distraction. Regardless, there's buildups, and we'll see. August 5th, August 6th is the expected, so within the next couple of days. But once again, that's projection.
I think that in the plans, their plans, the surely south of Ukraine, it's a main side they want to attack, use for attacking, and this the north side is just for the distracting or attracting the Ukrainian forces. I'm sure they will not go with the full power from the north
Mm-hmm.
because let's say we prepared there and it's quite strong. The south it's important for them and for us because we have the real strong positions there and it's a big threat for them for their position because let's say they're really nervous there.
Sure. Well, think about it as well. We're doing good in the east, although it's very difficult. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Kharkiv is a city that is so close to the Russian border that makes it a challenge. But in the south, Ukraine is doing a phenomenal job in this war. So, of course, you're right. That is a concern zone for them. Now, second thing, in addition, map number 2. This is an outline
Mm-hmm.
of the map of Belarus. I have a green line on the Polish border. I have a blue line on the Ukrainian border and a red line on the Russian border. But in the middle there is Belarus, black circle, Minsk, of course, being the capital. Today, and that translates the extension of the no-fly zone in Belarus going to August the 13th. That is in the upper left-hand corner. Today, they pushed this no-fly zone or reiterated all the way to the Polish border on the southern side of Belarus, northern regions of Ukraine, as well. For some reason, Zhenya, they added 2 new regions there. I had the black arrows, and then they jump out to give a little, just these are very small areas, but for some reason, there is a no fly zone there, aviation closed. Once again, I don't believe that there will be an invasion through Belarus anytime soon. But I think we're in the distraction game again because the South is what they really want in the East.
Mm-hmm. I think yeah, I think they're preparing something because the big groups of Russian soldiers right now on the way and part already there on the Russian territory for special courses, special preparation by Russian officers. It's like
Yes.
some military games they have and special preparation, let's say.
Well, the other thing
of
is, it came out today as well that not only is there training going on in Belarus, but up to 200 of their higher tier leaders are in Russia or en route to Russia for further training there. So I'm not here to say that nothing's going to happen, but at the minimum, right now, when they put out these types of bulletins, closing airspace, we're training, at the minimum, Ukraine must pay attention and be prepared to defend. At the maximum,
right.
they will invade or they will attack from the north further. We'll see. Refugee numbers updated on August the 2nd. This is the numbers just for the nations that are bordering Ukraine, where people have left to. Now, these
Mm-hmm.
numbers are not fully correct because some folks have went and exited to other places even earlier, but this is a number that's accurate. 10.3 million border crossings. Of course, some of the major countries there. Unfortunately, 2 million basically in Russia, 5 million in Poland, and then so on and so forth. Moldova, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary, and Belarus. These are the nations that border Ukraine. We do have 4.2 million crossings back into Ukraine, but that number is not just Ukrainian citizens, although a large majority of it is. That's also help, Foreign Legion. That's all the numbers. So when officials come visit or whatever, but of course, the bulk there will be people trying to get home. So this is the update on the refugees, and that's what we're into, helping as a part of this outreach that we're doing cooperatively. Now, with that, Zhenya, that leads me to this. I've been talking about it. You don't know unless you've been able to watch the updates, but it's official now, not only from Vereshchuk, Zelensky, and Schumel, but also they put out the official edict yesterday requiring mandatory evacuations from Donetsk region. Now,
Yes.
that won't, of course, they won't go and pick people up by the back of their neck, but they are doing that. But with that said, they actually then went the next step, told people where to go, what oblast to go to. Of course, one of those is ours, Khmelnytsky. So we may see an uptick once again in refugees if they come that far across Ukraine.
Yes, it's like, I think we have this experience already. We had it, and our government and the military guys, all the structure, we don't want to have the same situation as before, when people were not prepared, and the, let's say, infrastructure of the places on the west side, on the safe side of Ukraine, were not prepared. So we want to save as much as possible lives,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to bring minimum, let's say, like risks, or yes, like risks to west. I mean, to the more peaceful places. Why? I mean, having enough preparation. This is why we do it, and every day buses, a lot of buses, taking people outside of from the west side, and looking for the best possible place for accommodation. So it's
So
good.
the bottom line is for our organization and charity funds, we're ready and we'll be prepared to serve however need be. And that's a lot of
Yes. Yeah.
the reason we're ready is because of this great community, our church, everybody working together to make sure the funds are ready to go. So once they start rolling in from Donetsk, we're ready. Now, I'm going to go to the next thing. I'm going to give a drum roll on this, and I'm going to say two words. Now, for those of you that are new, this is not scripted. I do not send him or he send me. Um, I do my stuff, he does his stuff, but they also send me stuff. But Zhenya has no idea what slide is coming next. What he has no idea what I'm going to say next. So this could be a
Okay.
complete dud, and he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to say two words. Are you ready? Amnesty International.
Okay.
All your well, no, let me show this, and then I'll let you respond. Then Zelensky's going to respond. Zelensky and Kuleba. So, first of all, let's look at this. Amnesty International reveals their true colors. What a pathetic organization. Let me just say that. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Ukrainian forces have put civilians in harm's way by establishing bases and operating weapons systems in populated residential areas. Now, I thought this was a joke when I saw it this morning. But of course, you see the blue check mark there. That means it's a verified account on Twitter. Now, I said, okay, I still don't believe that. So I went to the website, and here it is. Amnesty International. AmnestyUSA.org. August the 3rd, 2022. Ukrainian fighting tactics endanger civilians. And they go through talking about how fault is on Ukrainian side, as if you invaded yourself. So, Amnesty International, before we hear from Zelensky and Kuleba, what do you think about it?
Okay. Organization like this is have to work for peace and have to work to stop the aggression. Okay. Russia occupied over 20% of Ukrainian territory, demolished cities, and making people, killing thousands and thousands Ukrainian civilians. And now they making a front page on their website about which buildings we use for stopping the aggression. Stopping the aggressor, where we, taking our soldiers in. So this is, this is a real problem.
Let me
So
ask you a
it's like,
question.
okay, okay,
Let's
go.
explain something to people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In Ukraine, most people live in these large buildings, okay, like apartment buildings. Yes, there are single dwelling homes, there are neighborhoods, but most people live in these large buildings. And these large buildings many times will go like in a square or a rectangle, and inside
Mm-hmm.
of that area is like playgrounds for the
Yeah.
kids, parking. So, I have a question for you. Is Ukraine putting military bases inside of those residential parking areas and playgrounds? Of course
It's like,
not. That's
it
what they're
sounds like a
saying.
joke in a time of drones. I mean, we discuss Amnesty International discussing. It's like, some guy, the gangster, or like, some bad guy stopping the person and beating and shooting that person right on the street, and then the policeman looks on all of that and he says, "Oh, we need to think in this situation. There is a terrible situation because that civilian guy, that not the bad guy. Let's talk about that one. He
Mm-hmm.
was having,
Jacob.
his arm, one of the arm in a packet. This is a problem. You understand? We need to discuss. He's wrong. Oh, it doesn't matter that that guy is shooting him. It's okay. Let's talk about that guy."
Right. And in this era of truth, and we can prove everything with cameras and internet, They're doing nothing but telling lies. This reminds me. Here's the story. Kishinev, Moldova. There we
Mm-hmm.
were, you and I, Rostislav, I think, yeah, and about 12 others, 11, 12 others. And we're down in Kishinev for a week, and we're trying now to come home. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a little accident. A taxi driver hits us.
Yeah.
And,
Backside.
right. And we get hit from the back. We're sitting still at a stoplight. 100% his fault. So we all pile out, and here comes the police. The policeman comes over, and we've kind of moved over to the side. In fact, Tigran and I went and got McDonald's. We got a hamburger and French fries, and we're sitting on the curb just watching this event unfold. But this is a good example of what we're talking about, the mindset. We literally watched, because when the taxi driver got out, oh, my fault. I'm sorry. We'll take care of it. Da, 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 da. Then the taxi company owner came. And the police are talking. The owner goes over, and we watched this. Gave him money. And the policeman then came back, said, you know what? I've reconsidered. This is your fault. Just,
Yeah.
he was paid off, and we watched it. Now, that was an adventure. Only time ever in my life traveling this many years I had to go to a U.S. embassy, and we got a little help. But we were able to get out. But it shows you this is what's happening in Ukraine, whether it's money or wanting to think we're in some perfect world that it can't just be the aggressor. We're just going to tell it like this. So here is what Zelensky said. Zelensky says the only thing that poses a threat, and this was through Podolyak, but it's Zelensky's statement. The only thing that poses a threat to the lives of Ukrainians is the Russian army of executioners and rapists that come to Ukraine to commit genocide. Our defenders defend their people and families, said Mikhail Podolyak, advisor to the head of the presidential office. And he added, today, Russia is making every effort to discredit the armed forces of Ukraine in the eyes of Western societies and disrupt the supply of weapons using its entire network of agents of influence. It's a pity that an organization like Amnesty International is involved in this disinformation and propaganda campaign. They absolutely are involved. You know,
Okay. Sorry. The question is, Russian army attacking, occupying our territory, shelling, artillery, aviation, bombs, all the way. Okay, you're right. We do not have military base in every big building. We protect, our guys protecting people. And surely they're going where? To the direction where Russian army goes to.
of course.
The army protects, goes to protect in a place when where it's needed. If they attacking houses, surely our guys goes there. So what's the question? why Ukrainian army are in that, in the civilians, parts of the city? Why they are not sitting in the police department? They're wrong. Oh no, they need to find the closest military base and sleep there, while Russian army killing, destroying civilian houses and so on. What's the question?
Let's
When
make
you
it
call to police, where they have to go to?
let's make it very simple. When Amnesty International, and they're not even worth our breath anymore. And if any of you guys out there watching donate to Amnesty International, stop it. Stop it. Donate to Bethel Life and our work. Every penny will get there, and we'll tell the truth. But Jania, here's what Amnesty says when they do this type of report. They're basically saying that Ukrainians are killing Ukrainians. That's what they're saying. All right?
Yeah.
So, what does, here's the last guy, and we'll move on, but it's worth hearing. I've got it translated. Dmitry Kuleba, Foreign Minister of Ukraine. Check out his response. I think it is fantastic.
Добрий день. Я так само, як і ви, бачив заяву Amnesty International. Я так само, як і ви, нею обурений, вважаю її несправедливою. Я розумію, що у відповідь на критику Amnesty скаже, так ми ж критикуємо обидві сторони конфлікту. Але давайте чітко домовимося про розуміння простих речей. Така поведінка Amnesty International – це не про пошук і донесення світові правди. Це про створення фальшивого балансу між злочинцем і жертвою. Між країною, яка сотнями і тисячами знищує цивільне населення, міста, території цілі, і країною, яка відчайдушно захищається, рятуючи свій народ, рятуючи континент від цієї навали. Тому, будь ласка, припиніть займатися з тим створенням фальшивої реальності, де у вас всі в чомусь трохи винні. Займіться донесенням правди, системної, масштабної правди, про те, чим є сьогоднішня Росія. Зробіть це хоча б в ім'я жертв, цивільних жертв, громадян України, яких накрило російськими снарядами на зупинці громадського транспорту в місті Торецьк Донецької області сьогодні.
So there you have it. That's the statement of Dmitry Kuleba. Very articulate.
It's correct. It's a false balance they're trying to play. False balance.
Let me ask you
Absolutely
this.
Correct.
Was that translation correct
Yeah,
for the English?
absolutely. Yeah.
It's exactly what he said. All right, let's I'm done with Amnesty International, but we had to respond. Now, instead of the trash that Amnesty International puts out, I guess I was done with them for about 3 seconds. Why don't we tell the true story of a Ukrainian, of a dentist who gives up her practice, of school teachers who have left their schools to go defend their country and have been killed, of the 140 plus doctors who have been serving and are killed in this war. Let's tell that truth. Here you have it, folks. Mm-hmm. This is what Ukraine is really about.
Гранату я вчора навчилась кидати. Береш гранату і треба різко бросив, а потім присісти. Ну я так присіла, що носом в магазині. Хлопць.
Анжела з родиною мешкає на Одещині. За її плечима медучилище та університет. Кілька років успішної практики і власна стоматологічна фірма.
Боятись нема чого. Треба брати зброю до рук і боронити свою державу.
Наразі Анжела перебуває на навчанні, яке проводять інструктори з бойовим досвідом.
Дякую інструкторам, бо це інформація, знання та навики. Не можна оцінити, наскільки вони важливі для всіх.
Окрім медичної, на навчаннях і тактична підготовка.
Зброю тримати в руках, влучно стріляти, користуватись гранатою, зорієнтуватися в різних складних ситуаціях. Треба вчитися, психологічно бути готовий. Перемога – це все. Земля, повітря наше, діти наші. Відбудуємо нашу державу, відбудуємо наші розгромлені міста і запанує мир.
So, my friend, on the backside of what Amnesty wants to spew, that's what I want to show. That's a real Ukrainian, and this is an example of the thousands and thousands and thousands of professional people. This lady owns her own dental practice in Odessa, gave it up to go defend the country. That's what Ukraine's all about. That's why I'm here 162 days in a row. I know what Ukraine's about. I received many messages today, just random, where people were just thankful that somewhere they're able to find some truth, and the consistency of it every day. So we're making a difference.
One of the places, it's just an example, one of the places where I was fixing my car time to time was closed, I have asked why. Because the owner with the team left to the war, fixing cars there,
Wow.
and the owner was killed. His guys survived. So it's like, this is why, there is a saying, I don't know how to translate it, maybe correct, for the victory of the evil, that's enough if the good side will be quiet. And it means everybody has to do something, has
You're
to
right.
share, has to repost, sharing truth, sharing real information, creating proper pressure of truth by that, and not hiding lie. Telling what is a lie and what is right, what is the truth, and then the world. Then we do something, not just yesterday. Seems to me I decided to check a couple websites and I was saying, oh no, I can't believe it. On the first, on the top, there is like news about some Hollywood stars families, what's going on inside, and and it's like, and it's not just a specific website, it's just like main news of the world, let's say,
in
and
general, this story's being
in
tucked
general.
away, and we can't allow that to happen. So Schroeder, former leader of Germany, evidently he wants to be like Henry Kissinger, and he thinks he can solve everything. So Schroeder comes out and says that Putin will negotiate and he's ready. But the reality is Putin does not want to negotiate. This is a direct quote. I'm going to read you now from Zelensky. He nails it. He says Russia does not offer dialogue. It offers to surrender, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said, on whether it's possible to negotiate with the aggressor. Therefore, the answer is no, of course. Everywhere they say that they are ready for dialogue, but this is a lie. What kind of dialogue is this? They tie our hands, cut off our tongues, and then say that they are ready to talk. This is not a dialogue. This is a terrorist who feels strength in himself and ruthless to human life. The head of state said, of course, Zelensky, in response to Schroeder. Zelensky stressed that for 3 years, he has repeatedly tried to hold direct negotiations with the president of the Russian Federation in order to prevent a full-scale war, but the Russian side avoided dialogue. So there you have it. So, folks, if you saw today where Schroeder says, oh, Putin's going to negotiate, he's ready. Baloney. Not happening.
Doesn't matter. Is it Schroeder? Is it Trump? Is it
don't go there.
Orban? Okay, Trump. I will not. Orban. Okay,
Orban. Terror.
Austria. Guys, politics.
Listen, Donald Trump did a lot of good things for our nation, economics, business. I think he's a good man in general, but he was wrong in his statements in regard to Ukraine, period.
In this moment, doesn't matter who start to send, or even noticing something about to that direction about negotiation. We need to listen for Putin. We need to sit and discuss and discuss what Putin is a liar. He proved it. He's aggressor. He proved it.
He's a terrorist.
He's a terrorist. He proved it, and it's proven. And it's a start. Everything every time when we start. We talk about the Putin. We need to start from that. So the liar and the terrorist and that dictator, and then he wants to what? No, he has to stop.
Correct.
First, and the world has to
listen.
be unified.
This is so interesting. Michael McFaul, the former ambassador to Russia. He is a very liberal Democrat, teaches at Stanford. But man, on this war, he is pro Ukraine 1,000,000%. He just tweeted right now that the realist, and I know he's referring to Amnesty International, I know he's referring to Schroeder, I know he's referring in general to all of this mess that's out there today. He just tweeted, stop blaming Ukraine and thinking Zelensky can stop this war. Putin is the aggressor. So it was there. I mean, it's truth. So anyway, we're coming to that question.
Okay.
And we'll be closing up here for tonight's update. We've been following this. I know you've been out, but these are related just as much as Serbia and Kosovo, as much as Azerbaijan and Armenia, Iran, Turkey and northern Syria, China and Taiwan. In the last 24 hours, this is what has happened. And I'll tell you why we follow this, Jania. China released a public tactical map of their movements and what they're doing over the next few days. They put it up for fear, but they've been doing what they say they're going to do. Secondly, China today fires 11 live fires ballistic missiles. Unfortunately, 5 of those fell in the Japanese waters. Japan has already responded and with disdain. Taiwan calls for the international community to condemn Chinese actions, and Taiwan asks citizens to install apps on their phones with bomb shelter locations. And Russia, this is why we are updating this. Russia reiterates full support for China and will provide military assistance if needed. This is what I said. This is my theory, but we've done this every day. This is an event, China and Taiwan and United States poking by allowing, and Nancy Pelosi going there and all that other stuff, poking. All we're doing is pushing China and Russia closer together. That's what's really happening. And
Yes,
that's what's happening. So we just help it along.
I believe at this moment it's so important for the whole world would understand and realize that the time of, let's say, the time for it's not applicable for the list of the countries like Russia, not applicable the previous principles the world were using for solving this kind of situations. Let's
Okay,
say
pause. I know.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question and then you unload. Here's the title of the program tonight. Here's the slide and the advertisement. This is what you're talking about. What's going to end this war? What's going to bring the conclusion? The easy answer, Ukraine destroys Russia or Russia destroys Ukraine, but that is so simple. It's so elementary. It's way beyond that now, especially on the world. So there's the question. And sir, Mr. Ukraine, you answer it.
Okay, you probably remember this news 2 days before when people on Taiwan, they were meeting American lady with Ukrainian flags. Why? This is the sign, it's a symbol at this moment. Because one of the biggest country of the world became aggressor, ignoring all the principles, all the other countries. I mean, everything we were building with all of these years, I would say from the World War II. And in this moment, all of these principles doesn't work. I mean, it's nobody can sit and negotiate with him. Some are experiencing crazy fear. Some, yes, standing against. but it's not negotiation. It's not about that. There is no person or power you may negotiate. It's possible only on a level, on the same language of, we cannot say terror, no, but let's say same level answer, same level power. And at this moment in the world, it's a unions, it's a groups, it's people and politics and countries staying in unity. And in this moment, not possible to, I mean, just sit in it's, or Ukraine with all civilized world, stopping that aggressor and this pledge, which attracts all the same kind of mindsets, like North Korea, or I don't know.
Well,
There is a whole.
let me ask you this. Um, International Red Cross, do they function like they should?
They did open, seems to me, a few days ago or a week ago, a new office, a new center in Russia.
Minsk
And
agreements, are they working? Okay. Geneva Convention for Warfare, those rules, are they working? This,
they
my
working
friends,
in the naive minds.
naive mind, exactly.
Naive minds that,
Wait,
oh, yes, no.
dude, you just did something glorious. You just quoted Barney Fife. I mean, you're a legend now. Andy and Barney are talking, and Barney says, yeah, that guy's so naive. The word is naive. So, folks, 10 seconds. It's time for this. It's time for Barney. You just quoted him. You are awesome. Yeah, the world is naive.
Mm-hmm. And this is a problem. People are, I mean, yes, we have Geneva Convention, we have sanctions, we have regulation, we have international agreements, we have borders, it's everything, we have everything, but it doesn't work.
It's not
Today,
working.
thousands of people dying. At this moment, it's missiles, bullets, bombs, and not just some crazy group of, I mean, mad people in, I don't know, I don't want to name any region. It's one of the biggest countries in the world, and the world having diplomatic relationship with them, by having businesses, buying their stuff, the product, something, or at least oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so here's the question. When will the war end and how?
When the whole world will stand together with Ukraine and show that we are not, that it's not possible. And we begging month by month, we begging, give us something we can get them on our territory, Ukrainian territory. Give us some more weapon for we could, because we trusted the world. We trusted, we proved it in the Budapest Memorandum, you can check it. And now it's like, give us, we want to stop that ships and where which they used on Ukrainian territory, Black Sea, sending missiles, cruise missiles to civilian people, to hospitals. Give us, no, the world is slow because we are not sure what kind of winter season we will have. Because, I mean, we need to think about that. Will we have enough in our homes? And okay, it's like paying. Okay, you can have like a bit more. You can have half of country. When the world will stop, of when the world will stop to be a part of genocide.
So this war will end when the world stands together.
Yes, stands on not on the words.
Correct. On action.
And on everything.
Correct. Because to this point,
like some countries already did, they said, we're ready to fight. We are small, but we're ready to pay any. We already stopped. We are not paying anyone centis. We're not buying anything. We're blocking them. We're not allowing their kids, which they're using this bloody money for travel. At this moment, Ukrainians cannot, I mean, the men cannot leave the country. Families cannot visit with the family, with the father and mother and kids, cannot visit any amusement park outside. We fight for our rights here, and in this moment, Russia aggressors still they walking. Oh, Eiffel Tower. Oh, Disney World, amusement park. Right,
you know what a great point. What a great point, and I'll calm you down there so you can sleep. But you're right. I've never even thought about it that way. It is a fact. Many Russian oligarchs and business people and their families traveling the world, having their vacations, normal people having their holidays. A Ukrainian family can't even go to an amusement park, and you were the ones attacked.
Yes, and please understand, Ukraine was a country which no visa entry for Europe.
Correct.
And Russia no. And in this moment, Europe are giving, and Europe and another country giving visas. Oh yes, it means like we agree that yes, we respect your freedom for travel. We respect to what? To terrorist country. Why not to turn them, say, stop your crazy leaders, stop firstly, and please at least 1% understand what Ukrainian families feel.
Mm-hmm.
No, not canceling visa.
Well, that's the title of the program tonight. When will the war end? And all of that, you put in one little bow tie, and that is when the world truly stands together again. And folks, that's why we're here. That's why we're updating every day. That's why we're going to take it to the next level here in a few weeks. And that is why we're making these sacrifices to do this, because the world needs to know the truth. Last thing, we'll continue to pray for Ukraine. Thank you for continuing to give at blwc.org. For all of you guys that are new, of course, it's a 501c3, and every penny plus goes there. And I see him crowding the camera.
Thank you for helping Ukraine. Thank you for everyone who having interest to know the truth. Thank you for not watching soapy TV serials at this moment, but having at least, open your hearts to our country, our people, our need, our pain, and standing together. Thank you very much.
Dopo Betty. There's the heart. Женька, слушай. Послушай меня. Не скажешь ничего от время, когда я буду там, потому что я хочу будет сюрприз для моих друзья. Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty. It's just a little fun because anybody that understands it can figure it out. But it was good. Jacob, we love you, buddy. Get you some rest.
See. Yeah.
We'll be talking. Hey.
Bye.
No. You're back now. A good night to all.
Okay. To all, a good night.
Woo!